Welcome to MSG PM, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. I'm Kazeem Famuyide, and you are right now checking out the March 4th, 2021 tilt between the Rangers and Devils, which featured a Chris Kreider hat trick for your boy. We're going to get into all these hockey numbers. So like they say in hockey, let's do that hockey with my boy Jeff Eisenband, my tag team partner for MSG PM. Jeff, talk to me about Chris Kreider, bro.
Well, Chris Kreider, of course, the holdover from a different generation of Rangers hockey, from that team that made it to the Stanley Cup. But it's a different Chris Kreider at this point in his career. You know, came up with such a speedster. That's what it was all about. But Chris Kreider has become such a grinder, such an important part of this Rangers team. So you mentioned this was a hat trick game. This is the important part to me, that the number that needs to be looked at going into next season. Chris Kreider, of his 20 goals last season, 11 came on the power play. So Chris Kreider becomes so important to the Rangers on special teams. 14 of his 30 points last season came on the power play. So I mentioned Chris Kreider, of course, known originally as a speedster, but now has become so important. His hands have become so important on the power play for the New York Rangers.
Yeah, he was Mr. Consistency all year long, and they're going to need him to be more than that if the New York Rangers have any postseason plans this year. So let's talk to him real quick. These odds that the Rangers make the playoffs are plus 180 according to Caesars Sportsbook, plus 160 to not make the playoffs as well. Jeff, where does that stand with you?
Yeah, Rangers getting a lot of respect there at minus 180 to make the postseason. There's a big five in the Metropolitan Division: the Isles, the Pens, the Canes, and the Capitals. So there is a chance all five can make it if that wild card becomes, if two teams from the Metropolitan Division get in. But it's gonna be a grind with all those teams that I mentioned, and the Rangers are a young team. So what it comes down to, can players like Lafreniere, can players like Kravtsov show up this year? Capo Caco, of course, they're going to be the difference makers in terms of getting the Rangers back into the postseason after missing last year.
There was some Gothels Bridge action between the Rangers and the Devils. So let's cross it and talk about the Devils' chances to make the playoffs as well. They got plus 200 to make the playoffs and a minus 240 to miss the playoffs. They've had some ups and downs in the past several seasons, but Jeff, where do you think this team lands when it's all said and done?
Yeah, the Devils could be interesting there, right? At plus 200 to make the playoffs, that means you bet 100, you could make 200 if the Devils make it. And very similar to what I just talked about the Rangers, it has to do a lot with those young guys. Ty Smith, Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes. These are up-and-coming guys for the New Jersey Devils, but are they ready to perform at a playoff level? They're going to be around for a long time, but is this the year that they really get going together, especially, and make the playoffs? The Devils have a lot of questions in my mind in terms of goaltending. Jonathan Bernier, bringing him in, Scott Wedgwood, Mackenzie Blackwood. Who is going to be the guy for the New Jersey Devils? There's a lot of questions there.
The Rangers and the Devils definitely got some work to do to make the playoffs, but it's time to full screen us real quick and take a look at the entire Eastern Conference. Producers, hit me with it. At the very top, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning with a plus 350. The Hurricanes not too far behind, sharing the same odds with the Maple Leafs at plus 700. You got the Bruins as well, sharing those odds, and the New York Islanders and Pittsburgh Penguins with plus 1,100 odds. Out of these six teams, Jeff, which team strikes you as the most intriguing?
Well, I got to say the New York Islanders. I mean, we're talking about a team that has made the Eastern Conference Finals the last 2 years, and I don't think getting the respect that they deserve. Of course, Barry Trotz's team, people want to talk about, they don't have the names maybe that some of these other teams do, but how can you ignore a team that has come so close to I shouldn't say winning the Eastern Conference, because last year was a little bit of a different year, but they've made the conference finals, the semifinals, 2 straight years. So the Islanders are right up there, and then I'll throw out the Maple Leafs, because that team has so much offensive talent. Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Jonathan Tavares, and really what it comes down to with that team is, can they not be cursed? That's what it comes down to with the Maple Leafs.
Let's hope not, man. I love me a good curse when it comes to some sports. But if you know me like you know me, Jeff, I love me some long shots as much as I love me some favorites. So full screen me real quick. We got the Panthers at plus 1,200. Our New York Rangers sharing odds with the Capitals and Canadians at plus 1,300. The Flyers at 1,600, and the Devils way down below at plus 3,000 odds to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Jeff, win me some money. Tell me which one of these teams are the best bet here.
Yeah, to win the Eastern Conference, the Rangers are great value here. Plus 1,300. We talk about a little bit of those young guys on the Rangers. They will be the difference makers. Can Igor Shesterkin rise to a level as being one of the top goaltenders in this league at plus 300, at 1,300? I think the Rangers are better than all of these teams that we're looking at right here with the talent that they have. But the other team I have to add is Montreal, who made the Stanley Cup final a year ago. And this is what we're looking at with these odds. That's a little bit shocking. Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, two players that just took off in the playoffs last year for Montreal. You cannot have a team all the way back at plus 1,300 that just made the Stanley Cup. So I got to throw them out as well.
Gonna need Shesterkin to put a hurting on the rest of the conference for them to really make some noise, the New York Rangers. And I hope they do it. Jeff, the man with the numbers, always good kicking it with you. New York City, we're gonna send you back to this great hat trick game. This is Kazeem Famuyide. You are watching MSG PM presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. See you soon.